The broccoli that nobody liked story with happy end. Or not. You can decide. A lot of different fruits live in a fridge side by side. Each of them is special and unique in its way. But as it happens in communities, someone is friendly and sociable, someone frowns and gets angry, and someone looks indifferent, showing no interest in anyone or anything. The broccoli was one of those who belonged to none of the groups. She was a rare guest in a fridge, and in those cases, she tried to make friends with everybody. But the task was not easy. Milk was always picky, talking to Cream from time to time. Like a true diplomat, the cottage cheese tried to connect with everyone. Green and red apples were constantly arguing about something. They rolled over each other and made faces at the lemons that lay on the upper shelf. And the quietest place in the fridge was the box with vegetables. Carrots, onions, cucumbers, tomatoes, beets, and zucchini all got along and waited patiently to participate in someone's meal. The broccoli was the only one who huddled sadly in the corner. Somehow, she was shoved to the very back of the fridge. It was so cold there that her flower head slightly froze over. She struggled to hold on and calmed herself in the hopes of turning into some delectable meal. But the fridge door opened again and again, and the broccoli was still there. One of its flower heads began to wither, and because of that, she felt heartbroken even more. What if it will never be my turn? She thought, frightened. The door opened once again, and the fridge lit up so brightly that the broccoli even closed her eyes. When a man's hand reached for the box with vegetables, she started shining with hope. The hand took her out into the daylight. It seemed that life was getting better, but... Yuck, no, not broccoli. The broccoli heard a groan from the next room and froze in the human hand. It was the youngest member of the family who protested against this ingredient. In a moment, the broccoli dived into the back corner of the fridge. Why doesn't anyone like me? Why don't they understand how many useful substances I have? I can be of great use to a body. Hey, broccoli-doccoli. Stop whining. You are increasing the humidity in the fridge. The apples shouted each other out. Oh, have I said that aloud? Apples are lucky. They argue only about their sweetness. Everyone loves them, the cabbage thought. Yeah, broccoli is also a cabbage. But of a special kind. The kind that almost nobody likes. 2 days more passed away, and more bright green flower heads were turning yellow. Seems like I'm going to get acquainted with mold soon. The broccoli was in a melancholy mood. In a few weeks, a human hand put her out of the fridge again. In one sharp move, it threw the broccoli away, and the cabbage bumped into the edge of a bin. It was so painful that one flower head fell off and got into an open drawer with pots. What a twist! The worst fear became real. The little broccoli, the flower head that fell off the big cabbage thrown into the bin, clung to a pot's rim and looked at her yellowed parent for the last time. The big cabbage was wrapped up and carried away somewhere with the rest of the garbage. The small head flower was still green as it lay closer to the outer part of the box where it was more air. The little broccoli felt uncomfortable. She had to meet the same fate as the big head flower did. She'll rot here in the drawer, having made herself useful to no one. The useless useful cabbage. No. That won't happen. I'm not worse than others. Not only am I useful, but I can also be tasty, thought the little broccoli. Hurry up. She needs to hide somewhere if she doesn't want to end up at a dump with rotted leftovers that even homeless dogs refuse to eat. Suddenly, human hands lifted all 3 pots, in one of which was the little broccoli. One of the pots got to the stove. They poured some water and put nice, clean peeled vegetables into it. A carrot, some potatoes, finely chopped zucchini. Okay, the door is open. I just need to make some effort, she thought. After some jerking, she started to run away. A cutting board, a glass, just a bit more. I need to run as far as I can to escape the terrible fate of getting into the bin. The little broccoli was jumping around from one counter to another, clinging to towels and kitchenware that hung on the walls. Then she ran quickly along the pot's ribs and suddenly, bam! Well, no, it was more like plop. And the little flower head was dancing around with other vegetables in a swirl of boiling water. Right at that time, all the family gathered for dinner. The mother toasted some bread and approached the pot. In the beautiful white bowls, there appeared to be pureed soup. Great! What a marvelous color of soup this time, exclaimed someone at the table. That was the kid who recently protested against broccoli. It tastes different and so good, the mother said, and she looked thoughtfully into the pot. In a mixture of a nice light blue color, there was a tiny piece of the broccoli flower head. How could I forget that I put it in, cried the mother, and she used her blender once again to grind it better. Put in what? Asked the kid. The mother smiled mysteriously and patted him on the shoulder. A secret ingredient, she replied. The child poked around in his bowl with a spoon, hoping to see something, but in an instant, he bit into a crunchy piece of toast and spooned a spoonful of flavorful soup into his mouth. In the end, what is essential? It is essential to be who you are, and if you will, you'll definitely, without a doubt, find the right place for yourself. Moreover, the right place will make you the best version of yourself. The end.